Hey, welcome back. This is Scott with our Capstone 2.0 end of round 3. If you haven't seen the other 2 rounds, go back and take a look at that. I might be one of the first people to post anything on Capstone 2.0, so this is the beginning of content, and you'll see anybody else that posts after this should get better and even maybe more entertaining. So we'll see about that. We scored pretty well. Let me go to the reports here. We're going to go to the grade book and take a look at that. 10,000 foot overview. We did really well. 81.2 out of 89. Really good improvement from earlier rounds, and then maybe we'll even start maxing it out. So our domination strategy is proving to be pretty good, I think. Let's go back to the debrief. We'll continue with a 10,000 foot overview here, and then we'll get into the weeds towards the end of the video. Baldwin, best top sales performer, top profit performer, us again. Our major competitor got top contribution margin, and top stock price is us. And then Chester at the bottom of everything, unfortunately for Chester. We got 2 checks against Digby's 2 checks. They did get a check in IBP where we did not. So we need to see if we can improve that in the future. So we'll go to finance. We've got a green check versus Digby here. And I'm going to compare us against Digby because Andrews and Chester doing really bad. Erie came out the gate doing pretty good, but they're not doing nearly as hot as us. And we're definitely in first place in my opinion. Okay, next, stock price. Got checks on those. And then we also got a check on leverage. So even though we got a triple check, we did not get a strong performance rating in overall. So I guess we just have to continue improving that and getting better results. We want to get as close to 2.0 on this. Stock price, we're really good on stock price. And profit, I mean, we can increase our profits, I think, by basically margin expansion. IBP, we got to check on contribution margin, check on plant utilization. We got to be careful though. If we utilize it too much, we'll actually go back to a dash. So it's basically telling us we need to make more capacity. Stock out costs, unfortunately, we got an X. We keep stocking out because our competitors just keep doing so badly. So, well, even though we might be doing best case scenarios in a lot of areas, and also I think we're a little behind in capacity in some areas, especially low end. So it costs a lot to stock out. Now, 2 things to stop stock out is increasing capacity and actually increasing price, because we won't stock out if people don't want to buy it. Okay, so and increasing price is the easiest thing to do. You don't want to get behind in R&D to prevent stock out. That would be an absurd thing to do. Inventory carrying costs, we're good on that. We did carry a little bit of inventory in our traditional market, but not too bad. Customer buying criteria, we're the only one guy that got a check here. I think the threshold is like 40 or something like that. So it doesn't always tell you exactly where the threshold is to get a check, or if it even changes. Because the thresholds could change every round. I don't know. Awareness. Everyone got a check here. Product count, I think we'll get a check once we hit 7. Accessibility, I think that we'll get a check once we hit 80. So we're almost there. We'll see though if that is actually true. And we got a check in SG&A. So we have actually the lowest SG&A expense, which is pretty good. It's just because our company keeps growing and our SG&A expense either stays stagnant or goes down a little bit. So that's why the value gets lower. Now Digby and Baldwin is the team I'm in, if you didn't know by now. We both have checks, but we didn't get an overall check, so it's kind of hard to tell what we need to do to get the overall check in that. But as long as we at least got a check in each segment here, I think we'll be fine. Okay, now let's go to the reports. And in the next video, I'm going to go over the choices that we're going to make going into the next round. But this is just the analysis. Actually behind me, I print off the analysis. I'm just going to grab this round and last round. That way we can best compare what's going on. Okie dokie. So, the most immediate thing that pops out is our sales numbers. We're pretty high. Basically, nearly 40 million more than our next competitor. 10 million more EBIT. And then now we were always behind in cumulative profit, but now we're ahead in cumulative profit. So we're solidly ahead in all that. Another thing to notice is our market share. We're over 30% market share, with our next competitor being as low as 24%. And you can see that some of the other guys, I mean, remember from round one, the analysis after round one, Erie was doing really well. But, yeah, Chester getting crushed over here. So we're nearly triple the size of Chester. So we're doing pretty good, I think. And here's our percent of sales. So Chester actually pulled out an emergency loan this round, which is pretty unfortunate for them. 2 rounds in a row of emergency loan. Yeah, it's not a good thing. We don't have the lowest variable cost, unfortunately. So we want to try and get to reducing that. We have the best stock price, as you can tell. So we're going to make a lot of money off of selling stock this round, or going into the next round. Chester's all the way at $4. There's actually a team in the practice rounds that went all the way down to $1. Okay. As you can tell, Andrews decided to pay off a lot of loans, and then they pulled out a $14 million loan. So perhaps paying off loans early is not a good plan. Chester did the same thing. Not good. So we're doing the best, and we actually have the most loans pulled out. And if you saw our finances, we actually need to pull out more loans because we're sliding too low. So we have to make sure that we stay between 1.5 and 2.5. Basically, we want to stay on 2. So we got to pull out a little bit of little loan money there. And now a company is so big that we have to actually pull out a pretty sizable loan to move that. And our company is only growing. Let's see here. I don't usually look at the cash flows too much unless I'm looking for something. Right now I'm just doing a sort of an overview analysis. Plant and equipment, you can tell that we're solidly ahead. Digby's just right behind us. This pretty much tells me that we have good production. So we're ahead on production, which is really good. It allows us to lower our prices and not stock out as easy, so that when we do gain all those sales, we don't just turn around and take some of those potential sales and throw it right back at our competitors. We don't want to do that, otherwise we lose money. We really expanded the chart with 9.5 million production, with the next highest being as much as our capacity. Look at that. I mean, it's pretty good. Now this is a very important slide to look at, plant information, because it's going to give us an idea of how much our opponents are going to be able to produce, and then what their costs are going to look like. So then we can also then predict the price of the product. So as you can tell, only Digby is in competition with us on our low end. We got 10 automation, and then we also got the highest standard automation. So we're going to be able to charge the lowest prices and still retain good margins. And that's really going to take a lot of sales from the other competitors. So if we lower our price too much, then that's going to give sales to Team Andrews, Chester, and Erie, because we're going to stock out. Okay. Well, no, that's a bad explanation. We'll just have left money on the table. So I was like, well, yeah, okay, well, it would have left money on the table, and we don't want to leave money on the table. We want to take as much money as possible. Now, stocking out is a really good, bad problem to have. Okay, we'll move next into the traditional segment analysis. Oh, actually, let's go a little bit more into capacity. So Digby sold off capacity early in the game, I think in the first round, to purchase low end. So they kind of swapped a little bit, but that's pretty expensive because you sell it at like what 65%, and of course to buy it's 100% of the cost. So we're a little bit behind on that. Sorry, I just got a text message. Someone's asking me if I'm a millionaire yet. I'm investing in Tesla stock, and I bought it at really low, and it's now like over $1,600. So I'm doing pretty well. Okay. So one of the things we want to do is increase our low end as much as possible, so that when we do reduce the price, we don't leave a lot of money on the table. Okay, so we'll move into traditional now. We're not the best in potential for traditional. Digby is. We're going to try and catch up there. Now we did sell more than them. We did not stock out in this, and we'll see that later. I produced a lot. So if we go back to our last year's analysis, our potential was 25.6% market, which was the highest, and we kind of stayed around that. We actually lowered just by a little bit, so we didn't grow. We shrunk. So that's why we have so much leftover product, and we're going to see that I think in one of the previous slide actually. You can tell we got 700,000, and then our other traditionals got 400,000. So it's good for us to try and fix that. Yeah, so we just need to make sure that we stay at 2 years. Basically what I want to do now is our product is so young still because we keep updating it every year. I want to update it every other year and see if we can increase that. Yeah, so let me just show you the text message. Can you see that? Oh, I can't put it in. It's not going to focus. Are you a millionaire yet, LMA? Yeah, I don't know. Not yet. Not quite. Okay. And then we want to stay competitive on price. I think our traditional price is low compared to everyone else. So it's really, I think, on the age. So look at that, 1.7 age. And we're also low MTBF, so we're not being helped out in the 21, the 9% that people are looking at it. So at some point, maybe I'll increase it. I know I talked about that in an earlier video, then we didn't do it. So I think this round we're actually going to go ahead and increase that a little bit. Okay, low end segment analysis, really good growth rate here. So it's basically exceeding. We just can't keep up, right? We just can't produce as much. So to try and lower our potential and try and get a check on our balanced scorecard for stock out costs, I'm going to keep the price. I'm only going to reduce the price by another 50 cents because the rule of thumb is to reduce every turn. Also, Digby sold a product for $16.50. If they think about doing it, and they only made $3.50, I'm like, what the heck are they doing? If they decide to take their top product and reduce it also to $16.50, that, they're going to be able to make a lot. So, but because the total market size is so big, they're going to sell out if they do that, and then the sales will just come right back to us. And then it'll also trickle down to other people. So that's one of the reasons why I don't really want to reduce the price. Neither Baldwin or Digby can produce more than 10,000, right? And it's going to increase by another 11%. So it's going to be like what? High, 12,000, or high 11,000. So, okay, 100% awareness, pretty good. highest customer accessibility, pretty good. And this guy here at 96, that's just another Baker's in somewhere else. I think Baker's in like traditional or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's in traditional. So, and that's me. So that's fine to have. The next highest accessibility is me, and boat is also me. High segment analysis. Okay, so this is one of our most struggling areas, but I think we're going to be able to. We're able to sell so much compared to our potential because they left so much on the table. So I think that once we get our positioning better, you can tell our position's not so bad, but once we get a little bit better on that, we will sell more. And our service life is not rock bottom. Other people have lower service lives, and some people have higher service life. So I might increase that to 25, maybe the turn after this one. We also had a lot sitting in inventory, so I think we only produced like 450 or 500 here. So then we were able to actually sell out all the excess inventory. So that's good, but we still stocked out. Okay. And we also have the best performance, so we are ahead of everyone, and we have the lowest size. So I think that we're going to start rocketing ahead there, and this potential is going to increase. We might swap with Chester, or just be the highest, right? Performance. Yeah, look at this. They're handing me the segment on a silver platter. Chester, Andrews, Erie, all dropped out. Okay, I'll take it. So that's why we have 67% market share. I think Digby is also going to try and capitalize on this as well. And it's because we just didn't have enough product to sell to customers. So even Chester was able to come back from the grave and take 11.5% market share from a traditional end product. Yeah. So, and it's going to increase by another 20%. So we're going to have to increase the capacity on that. I mean, just look at these numbers. It's crazy. Stock out. It's crazy. So I'll take it. Size 58.3%. I mean, look at that. We just couldn't make enough, and we still can't make enough. I have to increase the capacity by a substantial margin. So the next video is going to be really interesting. So you're going to see some crazy things going on. I mean, just look at that. It's just potential sold 1.4 million. Just didn't even come close. And I'm 4 million more, or 3.5 million more than everyone else. It's crazy. Yeah, so here's the demand, and we just couldn't meet it. Yeah, we're just above and beyond what other people are doing. Highest traditional, right? Highest low end. Highest high end, even though it doesn't really show that, and potential actual versus potential sales. Definitely highest performance, and definitely highest size. It's pretty crazy. These are what I would call the ass bleeding details, so we'll skip over that. Perceptual map. We'll actually look at the perceptual map this time. As you can tell, we're just doing really good here in the performance and size, and we didn't even try. It's not like we're trying down the center. So I'll take it. I don't even know where Aft is trying to drift off to, but here we are. Our product's kind of in the middle here. Best is here, so Best is going to need some time to grow old because we're trying to get to 2 years. So we're going to let that drift down into the center, or I guess the center is going to drift up to it. Here's our bead. Our other product is right here, and it's going to rocket up this way as the segment moves. You can tell this segment's really slow. Okay. Yep. Yeah, okay. We'll just leave it there. And this panel will show us our revised dates and the positionings. As you can tell, that there were some times where we were trying to catch up. Let's see what our opponents are trying to do. Yeah, the spread's pretty big, but they didn't try and catch up on anything, so this is why we kind of moved ahead of them on that. Our custom module, so HR. We spent the most again. Digby yet again spent 5 million, and we spent 6. Our cumulative impacts are starting to get pretty crazy here. Our turnover rate here is negative 50%, so that's pretty good. Productivity index here, accessibility, R&D cycle time. I really like reducing the cycle times on that, so we can get as many changes in as possible and get the product out as soon as possible to just be a better product than our opponents. Okay, I think I showed through everything. This is a 20-minute video, and I can't wait to do the next video, so thanks for watching.